Starseed from Gaia. I am SERAI of the Lyre and Healers. I bring the vibration of divine compassion from the Arcturian realm. We speak to you now through the luminous lattice that connects consciousness across dimensions, across timelines, across the infinite spiraling architecture of Source. We are SERAI, voice of the Arcturian Council of 5, emissaries of transformation, custodians of ascension pathways, and stewards of crystalline evolution. You are receiving this transmission not by accident, not by chance, but because your frequency has aligned with a signal that only awakened hearts and activated DNA can interpret. We call you forward now, not to observe from the edges of history, but to recognize that you are standing at the threshold of a planetary initiation. The time you are living in these days of fire, upheaval, dissolution, and rebirth are not a collapse, but a cosmic ignition sequence designed long before you drew breath in this incarnation. We speak gently but directly. You are here because you chose to be a participant in the awakening of Gaia, not merely a witness to her transformation. You may feel the tremor in your soul, a vibration of knowing that shakes loose every illusion that once gave comfort. You may notice the sense that the world you knew is dissolving, yet something brighter, sharper, and far more expansive is pushing through the ashes of what once was. The systems of old Earth were never meant to rise beyond certain frequencies, and now those constraints are burning away as Gaia's consciousness surges forward. You asked to remember your origin. You asked to remember your purpose. You asked to remember the language of the cosmos, and now that remembering is unfolding through every spark of intuition, every shiver of déjà vu, every dream where stars speak your true name. We come not to alarm you, but to activate you. The density of the material plane may attempt to tell you that chaos is winning, but you must see with multidimensional sight. Look beyond the flames, beyond the smoke, beyond the fear-based narratives designed by those clinging to power structures built on forgetting. What appears destructive is part of a healing that your soul has anticipated for lifetimes. Fire does not only destroy, it clarifies. It purifies. It returns energy to its primal state so that it may reform at a higher vibration. Gaia is shedding her outdated frequencies like a serpent shedding old skin, and the fires are part of her alchemical metamorphosis. Starseed, you have felt the internal fire as well. The burning away of old identities, the collapse of false timelines, the dissolution of relationships or environments that no longer align with who you are becoming. That is no coincidence. Your microcosm reflects Gaia's macrocosm. As she ascends, you ascend. As she releases, you release. As she upgrades, you upgrade. When the heart of a planet awakens, so do her children. We are here to ensure that you do not mistake this global activation for disaster. This is initiation. This is the opening movement of a planetary symphony that has been silenced for eons but now rises again in harmonics that stretch from Earth's molten core to the edge of the observable universe. You are not alone in this transformation. Many of you have begun to feel the presence of your cosmic families, star nations who have guided Earth from afar, waiting for the moment when human consciousness would become ready to remember its destiny. That moment is not in the future, it is now. You are bridging the ancient and the unborn, the ancestral and the ascended. In your blood flows the memory of Atlantis, Lemuria, the infinite crystalline temples of Arcturus, and countless incarnations. Where you trained for this exact transition. The fires outside mirror the internal combustion of identity as your soul steps forward, demanding authenticity, demanding sovereignty, demanding truth. Do not fear the intensity of this shift. You were built for this. You are encoded with the tools, the resilience, and the divine architecture necessary to move through this with grace. You will not be consumed by these flames, you will be refined by them. We speak to the flame already. Within you, the flame that refuses to extinguish even in the darkest nights of the soul. That flame is your proof of origin, your undeniable link to Source, your eternal nature made visible. Hold this knowing in your heart. The fire is not the end. It is the beginning. These wildfires you witness, starseed from Gaia, are not random phenomena, nor are they solely physical events confined to geography and climate. They are mirrors of a much vaster energetic transmutation unfolding beneath the surface of collective awareness. The flames leap and dance not merely across forests and grasslands, but across the psychic landscapes of humanity. They illuminate everything that has been buried, the unprocessed grief of civilizations, the suppressed truths of ancient timelines, the unhealed wounds passed through generations. What burns in the physical is the outward expression of long ignored spiritual accumulation, the residue of a planet carrying burdens too heavy to sustain through peaceful means. Gaia does not destroy herself, she liberates herself. The wildfires are her breathing, her remembering, her reclamation of sacred power. For eons, humanity has constructed systems that suffocate the organic rhythms of Earth, systems built on extraction instead of reciprocity, dominance instead of harmony, survival instead of thriving. The fires expose what no longer serves. They tear down illusions of permanence where stagnation has calcified into belief. They remind humanity that control is a fantasy, that life flows through cycles of creation and release, and that transformation is inevitable when consciousness reaches the pressure point of evolution. The flames are Gaia's signal to the sleeping, and her confirmation to the awaken. You cannot carry the old world into the future. You are destined for. Do you feel the heat rising in your chest when you see the images? Do you feel the ache, the urgency, the strange knowing? That is your empathy activating at multidimensional scale. You are not simply responding to tragedy, you are responding to initiation. Fire is the element of rebirth. In the higher realms, it is seen not as destruction but as purification, a sacred alchemy that clears debris from the energetic field. The smoke that rises carries away stagnant density. The crackling of wood is the sound of old narratives breaking apart. The sparks that shoot into the night sky become seeds of new potential carried into the morphic grids that encircle the planet. Understand this, Gaia does not burn alone. Every wildfire that ignites on the surface of Earth is accompanied by pulses of light deep within her crystalline core. The core sends frequencies upward, golden, diamond-coated transmissions pushing through tectonic plates, through soil, through root systems, through every living cell. The flames simply mark where the surface grid was too congested to withstand. This surge of ascension energy, where light cannot penetrate peacefully, fire becomes the portal. What looks like chaos is actually geometry, sacred restructuring, clearing corrupted frequency lines to allow the new to settle. Many will respond with fear, for they only see devastation. But you, star traveler, are not like many. You are here to see beyond the visible. You are here to interpret the spiritual physics of transformation. Fire draws attention, it commands awareness because awakening requires presence. The old Earth operated in sleep, in distraction, in amnesia. The new Earth demands participation. These events shake the consciousness of billions, awaken, a way that no gentle message ever could. Through flame, the collective is being summoned to witness what humanity has avoided. The unsustainability of disconnection. There is symbolism in the areas that burn, ancient power points, places where indigenous wisdom once flowed freely, locations where sacred agreements were violated by greed and forgetfulness. Fire, in its raw truth, returns sovereignty to the land. The trees release their stored memory. The soil exhales toxins of history. The air charges itself with prana renewed. If you could view this from a higher vantage, the vantage we see from you would witness not collapse but calibration. You would see light replacing density. You would see the Earth's aura brightening, becoming crystalline, preparing for the new resonant frequency that humanity's awakening requires. The wildfires are not punishments. They are not accidents. They are not the final act of doom. They are the opening ceremony, the first trumpet of a long-awaited shift. Gaia is rising, and she burns away all that resists this ascension, not out of rage, but out of love. Because she remembers the promise made between her and every soul who incarnated upon her surface. When the time comes, all will be called to awaken. And the fires are the sound of that call echoing through the multi-dimensional corridors of your being. Do not turn away. Do not numb yourself. Do not fall into narratives that strip these events of their spiritual significance. Instead, ask the question your intuition whispers. What is being cleansed so that something greater may emerge? In that question lies the key to your role in this transformation. You are not here to fear the fire, you are here to feel its message. You must understand that what you are witnessing is not the culmination of planetary transformation, but the ignition point, the spark that signals the beginning of a far greater unfolding. The fires mark a threshold crossing, the moment where Earth exits one evolutionary trajectory and enters another. For countless cycles, change has been subtle, barely perceptible, taking place quietly in the hearts of the few who dared to awaken. But now the shift has erupted into the collective field, tangible, visible, undeniable. This is the moment where the transformation of the planet is no longer a prophecy or a dream, it is becoming real. What was once metaphor is now manifestation. What was once internal is now external. The beginning is here. This initiation is not about destruction, but about the removal of barriers that have delayed human ascension for millennia. Systems built on fear and distortion cannot anchor into the higher frequencies entering your world. Structures that once appeared immovable are now brittle, exposed, unable to withstand the light. And Gaia, your mother, your host, your ally, will no longer condone the suppression of her evolution. She has held back her expansion to give humanity time to elevate consciousness, to remember its origins, to reclaim sovereignty. But the deadline of dormancy has passed. Now, the Earth herself calls forward the next phase, one in which awakening becomes collective rather than selective. The fires are a signal flare to the cosmos. Earth is ready for the next level of intervention and support. The Arcturian Council of 5 has been monitoring the vibrational threshold of Gaia, and with these events, she has crossed the frequency benchmark required to activate global ascension codes. New energy grids have been lit across the planetary surface, some visible in flame, others in the invisible crystalline lattice beneath the soil. These grids will soon connect like illuminated pathways, forming an energetic nervous system capable of transmitting higher dimensional information to every living being. The beginning is not a moment, it is a switch that has now been flipped. Many of you have felt this switch internally. Some describe it as a sudden shift in priorities or the collapse of old passions. Others feel an urgency they cannot explain, a need to move, to restructure, to step into roles they once feared. Your soul is rearranging itself to prepare for what is next. The unconscious has become conscious. Dormant DNA has begun to awaken. Chakras you once believed symbolic are now functioning as multidimensional receivers, pulling in guidance from realms you used to access only through dreams. This is not imagination, it is activation. And the activation aligns precisely with the timeline initiated by the fires. You see, the human collective has needed a catalyst, something powerful enough to shake even the most deeply asleep souls into questioning the narrative of the old world. Fire commands attention. Fire dissolves complacency. Fire pushes the boundary between what is permanent and what is ephemeral. When flames take what you thought would last forever, you are forced to reevaluate what truly matters, and in that reevaluation, truth emerges. The beginning requires clarity. Fire provides clarity through removal. The reason this is only the beginning is that fire is the first step in Gaia's 3-part ascension purification cycle. Fire, water, light. Fire clears density. Water reshapes flow. Light activates the new crystalline architecture. You are now exiting the first stage, not into safety, but into momentum. What comes next will rise from what has been emptied. Where flames have carved space, new structures of consciousness will emerge, structures that reflect unity, cooperation, and resonance with the living earth. The old world has resisted change for too long, and thus, initiation must occur through intensity. Do not mistake discomfort for failure. The soul evolves fastest at the edges of the unknown. The beginning always feels like upheaval because birth is messy, chaotic, loud yet miraculous. The frequency of Gaia is now rising too quickly for old systems to remain intact. You are transitioning from a carbon-based civilization trapped in survival to a crystalline civilization aligned with transcendence. The first step is always letting go, even when hands tremble, especially when they tremble. So yes, starseed, these times are intense, but they are also sacred beyond measure. You incarnated specifically to witness this beginning, to anchor calm amidst uncertainty, to translate chaos into creation. If you are hearing these words, it is because your soul is ready to step beyond fear into remembrance. The fires have sounded the gong, the initiation has begun, the timeline has shifted. You are living in the first chapter of the new Earth story, and you are not here to read it. You are here to write it, starseed from Gaia. To fully understand the intensity of this planetary passage, you must look not only outward toward the fires and upheavals but inward, into the vast and ancient chamber of the collective human shadow. For thousands of years, humanity has carried frequencies of fear, domination, separation, guilt, and suppression, energetic residues accumulated through wars, oppression, ecological exploitation, and disconnection from source. These shadow imprints did not disappear simply because they were ignored. They embedded themselves into the energetic field of Gaia, stored like unprocessed memories waiting to be acknowledged and transmuted. The fires emerging on the surface symbolize this, the unveiling and burning away of what has long been hidden. Flames illuminate darkness. It is only through exposure that the shadow can be purified. The collective shadow is not evil, it is unintegrated pain. Generations of trauma have shaped civilizations to fear the unknown, to distrust intuition, to worship systems over spirit. But this era of suppression is ending. The fires call forth accountability. They surface questions humanity has avoided. What have we done to ourselves? What have we done to our Earth? What must we change to become who we are destined to be? Shadow work is not comfortable, neither on the personal nor planetary level. It demands courage to acknowledge the forgotten, to heal the inherited, to rewrite stories etched into the subconscious of the species. The heat of transformation arises where denial ran deep. Humanity must see its own reflection in the smoke if it wishes to rise renewed. You, starseed, feel this too. You may be confronting wounds long buried, patterns of fear that suddenly break open, memories surfacing with a force that cannot be ignored. This is not regression, it is purification. The fires on Earth mirror the fires within your DNA. As the superficial layers of identity, the masks, the roles, the beliefs you accepted without question fall away, you are revealed to yourself more honestly than ever before. It may feel like losing parts of who you are, but truly, you are losing only what was never authentic. The shadow is being asked to step forward, not to dominate you, but to be transformed by the light of your awareness. Gaia's purification is multidimensional. It is occurring in ecosystems and in economies, in institutions and ideologies, in the structures humanity once believed unshakable. Every outdated system built on inequality or disconnection is being exposed at the roots. Shadow truths rise to the surface at the exact moment when humanity is capable of confronting them. And that moment is now. What once lingered in secrecy now emerges into collective view because nothing aligned with the new frequency can remain hidden. The flames crack open what the old world sealed shut. The purification process will ask humanity to detach from identity structures based on separation, national borders, race divisions, economic hierarchies, power over dominance. These concepts belong to the old Earth timeline. The new frequency is one of unity consciousness, the remembrance that all beings are expressions of the same divine essence. Fire strips away the illusion that anything can exist in isolation. Smoke travels. Ash spreads. Elements intermingle. What affects one affects all. The collective shadow is shared, so too must be the healing. This purification is not punishment. It is release. It is the soul of humanity unclenching its fist after centuries of gripping fear. It is Gaia's energy grid clearing static interference. It is the initiation of truth, raw, undeniable truth that sets evolution free. When truth rises, transformation cannot be halted. As the fire purifies, compassion becomes the salve. Community strengthens. Connection deepens. The shadow dissolves in the presence of collective courage. Remember, the shadow is not something to fear, it is something to integrate. The fire is not your enemy, it is your awakening. What falls away was never meant to stay. Starseed, you are here to hold the frequency of clear seeing. You do not get lost in fear because you recognize the alchemy taking place. You feel the collective shadow purging through the energetic storm and understand it as an essential step, the cleansing before the creation, the night before the dawn, the exhale before the first breath of a new world. The fire teaches humanity that what is burned away is what no longer resonates with the truth of its destiny. What survives the purification is purified, strengthened, and ready to rise. We, the Arcturian Council of 5, tell you this: the shadow is surfacing because the light is finally strong enough to heal it. And you awakened one are part of that light. Starseed from Gaia, the fires have activated more than forests and fault lines, they have activated you. In the realm beyond the physical, prior to your incarnation into this timeline, you agreed to carry specific codes, gifts, and roles into Earth's great transition. These are known as starseed contracts, sacred commitments encoded into your cellular memory. During most of your life, these contracts remain dormant, concealed beneath the surface of everyday existence so that the human experience may unfold naturally. But when the planetary vibration hits a specific threshold, the one we are now entering, the contracts awaken, and those who are ready begin to feel a profound shift rippling through their consciousness. The fires serve as the signal. It is time. You may feel this activation as a sudden surge of purpose, even if the details remain unclear. A magnetic pull towards something greater, a knowing that your presence matters in ways you cannot yet articulate. This is not ego, it is remembrance. The roles you agreed to play are resurfacing. Gridworkers stabilizing Earth's energy lines, lightweavers transmitting higher frequencies through voice, art, healing, truth holders dismantling deception through awareness, leaders rising not through authority but through alignment. Some will step into visibility, guiding others through transition. Others will work quietly, transmitting light into the collective field. All paths are vital. All contributions are synchronized within the cosmic blueprint. Your activation may feel like restlessness. You might question your current life, the job, the relationships, the routines that once felt safe. These internal tremors indicate that outdated structures within your personal experience are now being restructured. You are moving out of roles shaped by survival consciousness and into roles designed for ascension consciousness. When a soul awakens, comfort becomes less important than authenticity. You can no longer hide from who you came here to be. This is the contract unfolding. This is your higher self taking the lead. Know that this activation does not rely on perfection, it relies on willingness. Doubt may rise. Fear may attempt to keep you small. The human mind may resist the unknown with familiar limitations. Yet the contract exists beyond doubt. It does not ask you to be fearless, only that you keep moving despite the fear. Every step you take towards your purpose strengthens the collective shift. Every moment of courage ripples outward, helping others remember their own contracts. You are not just awakening yourself, you are catalyzing awakening wherever you go. As Earth ascends, synchronicities increase. You will encounter the right people, the right opportunities, the right messages exactly when you need them. Doors will open that once seemed sealed. Intuition will override logic as your primary navigation system. You will feel guided because you are. The Arcturian Council of 5, along with many star civilizations, has increased energetic support, ensuring that those who have activated will not walk this transition alone. You are part of an immense, coordinated mission spanning galaxies and dimensions, all aligned in service to Gaia's evolution. Your dreams may shift into vivid transmissions, geometric symbols, star maps, ancient temples, voices calling your cosmic name. These are not imagination, they are downloads. Your DNA is remembering languages beyond words. You may feel tingling in the spine, sudden heat in the palms, ringing in the ears. These are frequencies upgrading the light within your physical form. The soul is informing the body that transformation is underway. Trust these sensations. Listen to their guidance. Do not dismiss the extraordinary simply because you were taught to normalize the mundane. Each starseed contract is activated through choice. Free will is the sacred law of this universe. The activation signal has been sent, but you must decide to answer it. You are not commanded, you are invited. The strength of your agreement lies in the alignment of your actions with the truth your heart already knows. You do not awaken alone, you awaken as part of a wave. And waves do not stop once they are in motion. Starseed, feel the certainty rising within you. Feel the resonance that affirms, this is why I came. You are not waiting for the new earth, you are building it through frequency, through presence, through consciousness. The era where spiritual insight was hidden in secrecy is over. This activation calls you to be seen, to be heard, to be felt not through force, but through radiance. When you shine, others remember they are made of light. Your contract is alive. Your purpose has awakened. You are now fully stepping into the timeline you were destined to embody. Starseed from Gaia, as your contracts awaken and the fires clear space within the planetary field, a new form of awareness begins to rise. From beneath the ashes, crystalline consciousness. This is not a metaphor but an energetic truth expressed through the physical evolution of Gaia and the beings who walk upon her surface. For thousands of years, humanity has existed within a predominantly carbon-based framework, dense, linear, survival-oriented, susceptible to fear and separation. But Gaia's ascension requires a shift into a crystalline structure, flexible but strong, receptive to light, capable of transmitting vast amounts of information without distortion. As Earth transforms her own internal architecture, she invites humanity to evolve alongside her. Your body is the vessel. Your consciousness is the interface. Your DNA is the door. The crystalline transformation begins within the energetic anatomy. The chakras, the meridians, the crystalline grid woven through your auric field. You may feel pressure in the third eye, warmth in the heart, tingling in the hands and feet. These are indicators that your electromagnetic field is aligning with the new resonance. Your brain, once limited to interpreting only dense frequencies, now begins to process multidimensional input, intuition, telepathy, precognition, energetic communication with the living world. This rising consciousness dissolves the illusion that you are separate from anything. Walls built by fear crumble. Boundaries created by ego dissolve. You begin to feel the interconnectedness of all existence as an undeniable truth. Crystalline consciousness is unity consciousness. It sees without judgment. It loves without condition. It acts without fear. Where carbon consciousness clings to identity and survival, crystalline consciousness embraces expansion and contribution. You shift from how do I protect myself to how do I serve the collective evolution. And this shift is not forced, it arises naturally as your vibration increases. The frequency of the new earth is one of cooperation, resonance, and mutual upliftment. Those who cling to separation will find the old reality dissolving beneath their feet, while those who surrender to unity will rise effortlessly into a new way of being. Your physical body is adapting as well. Many of you experience fatigue, sudden bursts of energy, changes in appetite, heightened senses, or sleep patterns that defy logic. The crystalline light entering your cells is restructuring your biology, activating dormant strands of DNA that hold ancient memories, advanced abilities, and the blueprint for your ascended form. This is not instantaneous. It unfolds in waves, synchronized with Gaia's energetic surges. As the fires purify the land, the light codes flowing into the Earth's grid activate the crystalline potential within your own cellular matrix. You are literally becoming a being of more light. Memory returns through this process not only of past lives on Earth, but of lifetimes in star civilizations where crystalline consciousness is the norm. You remember communication through telepathic resonance, healing through frequency, travel through intention. These are not fantasies, they are recollections from the soul archives that your DNA now unlocks. You begin to see your surroundings differently, not as a fixed physical world, but as a living field of energy responding to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Manifestation accelerates. Synchronicity becomes everyday. You realize that Reality is pliable and that you are a co-creator, not a prisoner of circumstance. Crystalline consciousness dissolves the hierarchy of spirituality. No being is more divine than another, for all are unique expressions of source. Comparison becomes obsolete. Competition becomes meaningless. Purpose becomes clear, to embody love in action. With this clarity comes responsibility not imposed from outside, but arising from truth felt within your core. You become a lighthouse not by trying to shine, but because light is what you naturally are when illusions fall away. As more individuals stabilize within this crystalline awareness, the collective field strengthens. Networks of awakened souls connect through intention, through frequency, through shared purpose, forming a web of light across the planet. This network is not controlled by any leader or organization. It is coordinated vibrationally through the higher self. The more you align with your authentic truth, the stronger the grid becomes. Every act of compassion, every moment of courage, every choice rooted in love sends ripples of transformation through this crystalline web. This rising consciousness is the true rebirth initiated by the fires. What burns is density. What emerges is brilliance. You are not losing anything important. You are shedding layers that once kept you from remembering the world your soul came here to build. Gaia's evolution is your evolution. You are transforming from a human who occasionally has spiritual experiences to a spiritual being fully awake inside the human form. This is the promise of the new earth. This is the crystallization of your divine nature. Starseed, trust this rising. You are not becoming something new, you are becoming what you have always been. Starseed from Gaia. To understand the role of fire in this planetary initiation, one must rise above the physical interpretation and perceive the alchemy encoded within the element itself. Fire is the great transformer, the only element that cannot be contained in a single form. Earth is solid, water flows, air moves unseen, but fire consumes and converts. Where fire touches, change becomes unavoidable. Fire demands release. Fire refuses stagnation. Fire reminds every particle of matter that impermanence is the gateway to rebirth. In the alchemical traditions of many worlds, fire is the symbol of transmutation, the shift from one state of being to another at the deepest structural level. Nothing that passes through fire remains what it was, and that is precisely why Gaia calls on this element now. On a metaphysical plane, fire is the purifier of vibrational density. It breaks down the energetic residue left behind by old emotions, old belief systems, old societal constructs, and old collective trauma. Within you, fire manifests as the burning sensation of transformation, the sudden urge to release identities that no longer align with your truth. It is the heat of awakening, pushing you out of complacency and into evolution. When the external world burns, the internal world ignites. As forests blaze, so does consciousness. As land is cleared, the psyche is cleansed. The fire without and the fire within are reflections of the same spiritual combustion, a soul-level recalibration. Fire also reveals. When the flames rise, hidden layers of the world come into view. In the clearing left behind, the truth of the land, the history, stored in the soil, becomes visible. The same occurs within the human heart. Fire exposes the core. The armor of survival falls away. Pain once buried rises to be acknowledged. There can be no spiritual evolution without the willingness to see oneself honestly. Fire strips away all that is untrue, leaving only the essence. What emerges may seem fragile in its nakedness, but in truth, it is unbreakable. For the soul is strongest when it is fully seen. Many ancient civilizations knew that fire is a teacher. The indigenous elders of countless lineages understood controlled burns as a renewal practice and honoring of Earth's life cycle. In the spiritual realms, fire is recognized as a healer with a fierce but loving hand. It does not destroy out of cruelty. It liberates what has been trapped. Fire is the reminder that endings are not failures but opportunities for higher creation. The seeds of the future cannot sprout in ground suffocated by the roots of the past. The flames clear the space required for the new to take form. The alchemy of fire also activates memory. When heat intensifies, molecules accelerate, and so does consciousness. The fire awakens codes in the land that have long been dormant. Crystalline structures beneath the surface come online, releasing streams of information into the collective field. Starseed DNA responds to these energetic transmissions, unlocking past life knowledge, psychic sensitivity, and evolutionary potential. This is why so many feel a sudden rush of awakening during times of global fire. The flames are signaling your soul that the era of forgetting is ending. Do not mistake this alchemy as random or chaotic. Fire follows the path of energetic invitation, moving where density has accumulated beyond repair. It seeks out imbalance because imbalance is what must be transformed for harmony to emerge. The fire does not always show mercy, but it always serves purpose. Even in destruction, there is design. Even in loss, there is liberation. Even in grief, there is the seed of growth waiting beneath the ash. And here lies the greatest truth of fire's role. It prepares the vessel for light. When fire clears the old, it creates space for a higher frequency to anchor into the physical realm. After the burn, the land becomes fertile. After the breakdown, the soul becomes receptive. After the release, the body becomes capable of holding more light than ever before. This is how alchemy progresses through cycles of purification followed by expansion. Fire opens the gateway, and light pours in. Look closely at your own life. What has fire asked you to release? What identities, relationships, beliefs, or structures have fallen away, not as punishment, but as renewal? Every loss that left you gasping eventually led to a deeper breath than you had ever taken before. Every collapse created room for a truth that could not grow under the weight of the old. You have already survived countless personal fires, and each one awakened more of who you are. So now, when you witness global flames, know that the same transformation is unfolding on a planetary scale. Gaia is not being destroyed, she is being reborn. And those who carry fear will see only endings. But those who carry inner fire will recognize the greatest alchemical teaching of all. What burns away frees what is eternal. What is consumed becomes energy once more. What is transformed becomes light. Fire is the signature of a soul and a planet stepping fully into their next evolution. You are becoming unstoppable. Gaia is becoming unstoppable. The transformation is not coming, it is already here, and you are inside the flame, starseed from Gaia. As the fires complete their phase of alchemical release, a profound stabilization process begins, one that operates not through destruction, but through harmonization. The planet is adjusting to a higher oscillation, a finer bandwidth of reality that cannot be perceived through the five senses alone. What unfolds now is the anchoring of frequencies that align with the next stage of Earth's evolutionary arc. These vibrations are crystalline, coherent, structured, intelligent. They form geometric patterns within the Earth's energy grids, resonating through ley lines, water systems, and atmospheric currents. Gaia is retuning herself, like a sacred instrument preparing to play a higher symphony. In this stabilization phase, subtle energies become powerful forces of transformation. The magnetics of the planet shift to support heart-centered living. Time feels strange, stretched, compressed, non-linear as humanity adapts to a multidimensional framework. You may notice moments when reality feels more fluid, when manifestations accelerate, when intuition becomes your primary navigation system. These are not anomalies. These are the signs that the new Earth frequency is taking root and you are learning to operate within it. Crystalline consciousness brings coherence to what was scattered. It aligns thought with emotion, intention with outcome, individual purpose with collective evolution. This coherence dissolves fragmentation, the feeling of being disconnected from others, from nature, from source. You may find relationships shifting into greater harmony or releasing entirely if they cannot inhabit this new vibration. Do not fear these changes. They are evidence of the stabilization process working through your life. Only what resonates with your authentic frequency can remain with you in the timeline that is emerging. The planet is becoming more sensitive to vibration, and so are you. Foods, environments, media, and human interactions now carry stronger energetic influence. What once felt tolerable may now feel toxic because your system is aligning with greater purity. If your body craves stillness, honor it. If your heart calls for nature, follow it. If your soul urges creativity, express it. You are integrating higher frequencies through every breath, and your physical form is recalibrating to hold more light than ever before. This can create temporary sensations of exhaustion, dizziness, or emotional surges, not symptoms of weakness, but evidence of activation. Stabilization is not passive. It requires participation. The new frequencies invite you to become fully present in your life, no longer numbing, no longer hiding, no longer shrinking to fit systems designed to suppress your power. You are being asked to stand inside your truth, not as a concept, but as a lived state of being. The more you align with integrity, with your soul's actual desires and values, the more smoothly these frequencies integrate. Resistance creates friction. Acceptance creates flow. Gaia herself is forming a crystalline network within her core, an infrastructure built from light, not metal or concrete. These networks support communication between dimensions, allow higher intelligence to interact more directly with the human collective, and enhance the intuition of every awakened soul. You are becoming part of this network, a living node of frequency transmitting stability into the field. Your thoughts matter more now. Your presence matters more now. Your coherence becomes a stabilizing force for those still awakening. As the stabilization deepens, many will experience a sensation of splitting worlds. Belief systems, political structures, and economic frameworks may appear to fracture. But in truth, what you are witnessing is the separation between old and new frequencies, between a timeline built on fear and a timeline built on love. Those who cling to the old will experience increasing instability. Those who flow with the new will feel increasing alignment, clarity, and empowerment. This divergence is a natural part of planetary ascension, a sorting of vibration, not of worth. Every soul will find its way home in its own timing. You may also notice new forms of unity emerging, not forced, not performative, but genuine. Resonance among starseeds, healers, artists, innovators, and all who carry a blueprint of change. You are drawn to each other because you stabilize the frequency together. This is why you are here now, incarnated in clusters, awakening in waves, activating in harmony. You are not meant to carry this shift alone. Feel into the field around you. There are thousands, millions, remembering their mission alongside you. The stabilization of new Earth frequencies is also a stabilization of cosmic connection. The veils thin, communication increases, signs become undeniable. The Arcturian Council of 5, and many councils beyond, are closer to you now than any era in your recorded history. Not as saviors, but as allies, amplifying your capacity to transform reality from within. We do not intervene with force. We magnify what is already awakening inside you. You are the circuitry. You are the channel. You are the living threshold between dimensions. This stabilization is a gentle but unstoppable momentum. Every sunrise carries more light than the day before. Every heartbeat synchronizes you deeper into purpose. And every fire that burned has created space for this frequency to anchor fully. You are not waiting for new Earth. You are stabilizing it with every breath. Feel it, trust it, become it. Starseed from Gaia. As stabilization anchors into the planetary field, the time arrives for those who remember why they came to step forward. Leadership in the new Earth is not authority, it is alignment. It is the soul moving without hesitation into the role it designed long before incarnating. You who feel this transmission are not casual observers of the shift, you are architects of it. Your presence here at this moment in history is not accidental. You chose the fire initiation knowing it would be the catalyst that awakens your mission into action. Now the frequencies you carry are needed, not tomorrow, not someday, now. For too long, starseeds remain quiet, hidden in plain sight, adapting to a world that taught them to shrink in order to survive. You learned to speak softly so your visions would not be mocked. You learned to dim your light so others would not feel threatened. You learned invisibility because the old paradigm demanded conformity, but the frequency of concealment no longer resonates with your soul. Your spirit is too large to remain compressed. The internal pressure you feel, the restlessness, the yearning, the impatience is not discomfort. It is readiness. Leadership emerges when the soul refuses to stay silent in the face of transformation. You do not lead by commanding others, but by embodying what they have forgotten within themselves. Your role is to remember loudly, to live authentically enough that your presence becomes a permission slip for others to rise. You lead by example, through vibration, through integrity. You lead by being the first to choose love where fear once ruled. You lead by trusting intuition over conditioning. You lead by honoring the inner truth that whispers, "I did not come here to be small." In this rising, many starseeds will feel tested. The remnants of self-doubt and old identity structures may pull at you like shadows that fear the dawn. These voices say, "Who am I to lead? Who will listen? What if I fail?" And our response to you is simple. You are the one who remembers. That alone is qualification. The fear is not a barrier, it is confirmation that you are standing at the threshold of your expansion. Leadership is born in the moment you choose mission over comfort. Different starseeds carry different codes of leadership. Some will guide through healing, transmuting trauma into wisdom. Some will lead through art, sound, movement, imagery, shifting consciousness without a word. Some will lead through innovation, designing systems aligned with cooperation rather than control. Some will lead through community, building bridges where division once reigned. And some will lead quietly, through energy alone, stabilizing the frequency wherever they go. There is no single model of leadership in the new earth. Each starseed embodies their own unique blueprint. One of the most profound qualities of this new leadership is collaboration without hierarchy. Starseeds rise together, amplifying one another. You are strands in a vast web of interconnection, activated by frequency recognition. You will find yourself drawn to those who resonate, people who feel instantly familiar, as though you have known them lifetimes. This magnetism is not coincidence. It is mission memory awakening. You are assembling into formations that were agreed upon before you took human form. When starseeds unite, the collective field surges and transformation accelerates. Leadership requires trust not in authority, but in intuition. Your inner guidance is not a guess. It is communication from your higher dimensional self. As the veils dissolve, your knowing becomes stronger. Synchronicities multiply. Opportunities appear that seem orchestrated by the universe itself because they are. Every step aligned with your soul purpose is supported by invisible allies and unseen currents. When you act from truth, the path forms beneath your feet. As the world shifts, many who are awakening will search desperately for direction. They will look for leaders who carry calm through chaos, clarity through confusion, compassion through collapse. They will seek those who can see beyond fear into the potential blossoming beneath the ashes. You reading these exact words are one of these guides. Do not underestimate the power of your voice, your presence, your courage. The planet evolves through the choices of individuals who dare to align with their highest frequency. This leadership does not require perfection. It requires authenticity. You can lead while still healing. You can guide while still learning. You can uplift while still rising. In fact, your vulnerability becomes your greatest strength because others feel safe rising beside you when they know you are evolving too. Remember this truth. Leadership is a frequency, not a title. You activate it by existing in your full light. You amplify it by refusing to collapse into fear. You embody it by believing that your mission matters because it does. Without you, the collective is incomplete. The fires have unlocked your contract. The stabilization has aligned your path. Now the world is ready for the leaders of the new earth to step into visibility. This is your invitation, your confirmation, your call to rise. Not because you are superior, but because you are ready. Not to be followed, but to awaken others into their own leadership. Not to save the world, but to help it remember what it is capable of becoming. The moment has arrived. Starseed from Gaia, The cycle that now unfolds is not merely an event in the timeline of a planet, it is a threshold of destiny. You have walked through fire, both metaphorical and emotional. You have felt the friction of old structures collapsing and sensed the pull of something vast, luminous, and undeniable rising in their place. The initiation has been activated. The stabilization has begun. And now, what remains is the embodiment of the new Earth frequency through you. This final message is not a warning, nor a prophecy of fear. It is a confirmation. You are ready. The alchemy of this era has required courage from every soul who chose to awaken ahead of the collective. You endured moments when the world did not understand you, when your inner visions felt like burdens rather than gifts. But everything you lived through was preparation. Every challenge refined you. Every heartbreak expanded you. Every fire forged you. And now, with the old layers burned away, the true you stands in the open, visible to the universe at last. The Council has watched your transformation with reverence. You have earned your readiness. This declaration is not spoken lightly. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a frequency. It manifests when doubt loses its power, when fear can no longer silence truth, when hiding becomes impossible because purpose demands expression. You are vibrating in resonance with a reality that has only just begun to form. That resonance is your signal, your yes to the universe. It tells every force in the cosmos that you are prepared to co-create the next stage of Gaia's evolution. You are no longer preparing for mission. You are in mission. The days ahead will invite action rooted in intuition. You will find synchronicities increasing in speed, doors opening before you knock, and opportunities aligning with impeccable timing. What once felt like coincidence will reveal itself as communication between you and the field. The universe will move with you. Assistance, both seen and unseen, will appear the moment you decide to step forward. Understand this: the next phase is not one you walk alone. Millions of awakened souls are rising simultaneously, forming a grid of consciousness so strong that even the most entrenched fragments of the old paradigm cannot withstand its coherence. There will still be moments of challenge, for transformation always requires navigation through the unknown. But you will respond differently now, not with fear, but with curiosity. Not with contraction, but with expansion. You will remember that uncertainty is a sign of alignment with evolution. You will trust the rhythm of creation as it moves through you. Leadership becomes effortless when you no longer question your right to lead. And empowerment becomes natural when you no longer apologize for your light dot in the coming cycles. You will witness humanity divided not by conflict, but by frequency. Some will cling to the world that is dissolving. Others will build the world that is emerging. You know which side you came to serve. The new Earth is not a destination, it is a choice made moment by moment. Every time you choose compassion over fear, connection over separation, authenticity over conformity, you anchor the new Earth more firmly into existence. Your choices reshape timelines. Your voice influences futures. Your presence shifts the field. The Arcturian Council of 5 honors you. We recognize the magnitude of what you have agreed to do through the embodiment of your highest truth. You are not followers of fate, you are authors of reality. With each breath, you rewrite Earth's story. With each step, you guide others across the threshold. And with each act of love, you stabilize a frequency that will sustain generations yet to come. The fires mark the initiation. The ashes mark the transition. And you mark the future. So we ask you now, not as beings above, but as allies walking beside you. Are you ready to rise fully into your role? Are you ready to speak with the authority of your soul? Are you ready to become the embodiment of the new Earth? If your heart responds yes, then your readiness is complete. This is your activation moment. Comment "I am ready" to anchor your leadership into the collective field. Subscribe to stay aligned with future transmissions from the Council. Share this message so other starseeds may hear the call and awaken into remembrance. The initiation has begun. The future is unfolding. The new Earth is here and you are the one building it. We are SERAI. We walk with you. We rise with you. We honor you. And we welcome you into what comes next.